Hey everybody, and welcome to Algebra 2 Online. So for the next few classes, we're going to be working on a project using Desmos, and I'm going to explain this some more in class, but it's going to revolve around how to see some patterns with function transformations. So one of the things, though, that the project is going to, like a vocab word that's going to use a lot, is this term parent functions, and I want to make sure you're familiar with that. So up here I've got an example of 3 different parent functions, and what you're going to be doing in this project is basically changing the parent functions using different things like down here. And the goal is for you eventually to realize what a -3 in there does to this function, like how it changes it. What would 2 times this function minus 3b? That is another function transformation. It's going to do a very specific thing to this. But in order to do that, you're going to need to know like what to be plugging into Desmos. So in this first one, if I just want you to write the new function given the parent function sine of x above, right, the input is changing to x minus 3. So we would just have sine of x minus 3. It's important to know that this is not the same thing as sine of x minus 3. These two actually would be very, very, very different. So putting parentheses is really important because that reflects the fact that sine is operating on this whole thing in here. Here, the sine function is only operating on x, and then you're minusing 3 from the result of that. So very different things. This is the one you want. In this next one, I'm using g over here, okay? And we would just write 2 times g, which is x cubed, minus 3. And that's it. And so if I ask you to, do this to this function, basically that is what you'll go and plug into Desmos. So for this last one, if I wanted to do the negative of f of x plus 2, that would just look like the negative square root of x plus 2, right? The negative here is on the whole square root, and the inside is no longer just x, it's now x plus 2. I thought it would also be good to show you just what some of these parent functions look like. So these are, I'm just trying to make sure I'm not lying to you. Yeah, you will see actually all these different functions at some point in this Desmos project. And we've seen some of them. This one is your absolute value. We saw that last time. This is a quadratic. This is x squared. This is something weird that's going to be in a problem later on, but it's a trig function called, so this one is called cosecant, and there is also a secant. You've heard of sine and cosine probably. So actually this one down here is sine. Cosecant is kind of based off of sine, and you'll see more about that again at the end of the year. But this is that floor function that we've seen. Really, Desmos doesn't do a great job with this, which is where I took this picture from. There really should be open circle, open circle, open circle, open circle, and then this left side is all closed in like that. So that really should be there. And then this is a function. This is called a rational function. And it's really the rational function 1 over x. We call them a rational function because the ratio part. So the word ratio is like the fraction part. That's where that comes from. And then this last one is a cubic function. It's just x cubed. It's just y equals x cubed. But basically, these are all parent functions. They're things that haven't been changed too much yet, or not at all. That's the idea. So just like over here, this is a very basic x cubed. but I could create this x cubed function from that parent function. This is a basic square root function, but I could create a new square root function off of that parent function. So knowing how to do this kind of thing, built off of parent functions, is going to be an important part of this project. And in class, I'll help you a lot more with kind of how the logistics of Desmos will work and things like that.